In this presentation, I'd like to cover three major questions concerning vehicle metadata interchange. The first question that naturally arises in this context is why we need to exchange vehicle metadata. When we talk about this kind of exchanges, we mean both technical and registration metadata. Another question that naturally arises is which metadata we should exchange. And finally, we have to answer how we can do this, what way we'll choose. The first problem is that there are different legal regulations, both national and international, as well as data requirement specifications describing the same vehicle data. And in many cases, these descriptions, or we can call them as metadata, are different. In addition, all these documents are constantly changing, creating their new versions and releases. Another problem is that there are gaps in data interconnection between these documents, or they are not always clear or expressed only partially, fragmentarily. A striking example is certificate of conformity for vehicle categories M and O and L. Metadata expressed in these documents, their different versions, are completely unconnected. Moreover, for example, for the same category L, it does not have a clear link between metadata in different versions of the documents. In this slide, you can find that the same data is named differently in different metadata definitions, and this may cause different interpretations of this data, which may lead to their different uses. Or, as in the case of the requirement specifications, these relationships are expressed not structurally, and therefore difficult to use them in an automated way. Another problem that raises this issue is that there is a gap between the vehicle technical metadata legislation and the legislation of their usage in registration certificate, with the exception of the AVI specification. The result of all these gaps is different interpretations of matching this metadata by different stakeholders. And one more reason why vehicle metadata should be exchanged between the countries is the harmonization of classifiers used by different sources. For example, there is a lot of different versions of fuel coding, and every member state decides which of them to use. This raises the problem of exchanging such data, as it requires some transformation before. For example, before submitting this data through Eucharis. And there is one more important reason to exchange metadata. When developing our application systems on vehicle registration and data delivery or data exchange, and in order to minimize the errors, especially in case of manual operations, we need some tool for checking this data. One of the solutions for such a tool that could automatically check and control the data could be definition of particular data restrictions, data ranges, data indexing according to the source document, multilingual support, data enumeration, usage of classifiers, valid symbols, and etc. As in this metadata example above, it is shown the dependency of data on the vehicle completion stage. In the example below is shown the data limitation intervals that depend on the vehicle category. In some cases, this is partially realized in the definitions of data schemas, but this is not enough, as they do not express the logic of the relationship between this data. This slide shows how to make valid vehicle body code combinations depending on the vehicle category, bodywork, and vehicle purpose. The same colors shows valid code combinations. Next question we have to agree is what or which metadata could be shared. The contents of metadata should depend on the requirements we define and the purpose we use them. It could cover a wide range of metadata, and it may depend on the specific of different member states. Some core metadata are listed below. First of all, every data attribute record in metadata definition has its unified data identifier. Type of data classifies data source, documents, destination, or authority which requests this data. For example, type of data certificate of conformity represents data source. European Commission represents an authority, destination, which requests the data. Group of data groups data domains. Example for technical data is construction, engine, bodywork, etc. Next, what we need is metadata definitions are data formats, limitations, enumerations, and other data characteristics. I have to mark that there were already attempts from Netherlands and Germany to create some kind of metadata instances. There are also links to other data definition documents, but such a description is not fully structured, so limits its uses. We propose a solution for solving the problems listed above. That means to create some kind of data dictionary, or in other words, metadatabase that could be shared and supported by interested parties. A simple realization of this solution could be an electronic table, Excel format file with its open presentation on the web, which could later be developed as a particular service, for example, web service that could provide such information under request. In this slide you can find the metadata records, samples matching vehicle mass in running order from different data definition sources. You may also notice a possible conflicting situation that is marked in red. In our solution, we propose that the associated metadata records be interconnected exclusively through the data dictionary of the IVI specification and the list of data in the vehicle registration certificate. The exchange of classifiers content data could include continuously updatable classifiers for such data as manufacturer, make or brand, commercial name or model, fuel, engine category, normative acts, regulations, and so on. Finally, we expect to have a unified, coordinated, harmonized, linked metadatabase that could be used both for sharing the knowledge and application system development, control, and quality assurance of data. This approach has been partially tested in practical terms by developing an application for technical data input, namely the COC data. What next step could be is to expand metadata on the rules and conditions for data usage in vehicle registration and data delivery processes. But at the moment, we're looking for partners, interested parties, for the improvement and realization of the ideas and solutions presented above. If you are interested in the issue, please contact using this mail address.